One of the most prevailing pieces of evidence pointed to by those who theorize Patsy is guilty is the fact that Patsy wore the same outfit as the night before. The reasoning apparently being that a guilty Patsy was up all night, and she never took off her clothes to go to bed. This argument seems to ignore one of the most basic tenets of committing a murder. What do people overwhelmingly do after they commit a murder? They change the clothes. Even the dumbest criminal would know to do this, let alone a college-educated, yet genteel woman like Patsy. Now, one could argue that by wearing the same clothes, Patsy engaged in a reverse psychology stratagem. But this seems far too risky to justify the potential deception. Although police would have asked for the clothes Patsy wore the night before regardless, by wearing the same clothes while answering the door, Patsy would just increase the police's interest in that outfit. We believe that Patsy simply put on the same outfit to travel to Michigan. Or, because the police response was so quick, Patsy threw on the clothes out of necessity, so she could answer the door. Patsy was apparently wearing makeup as well. Is it that hard to conceive, that a former beauty queen would be vain enough to quickly primp herself, even to answer the door for the police responding to her daughter's kidnapping? To true crime oracle, to prioritize this clothing evidence as some kind of smoking gun is ludicrous. But many in the general public will cite the fact that Patsy wore the same clothes as the night before, as an unimpeachable piece of incriminating evidence. The fact she wore the same outfit should actually be considered evidence against her guilt. But as we know in this case, people for some reason assess evidence almost diametrically in opposition to how they normally would. We will conclude with addressing some Team Ramsey propaganda. To explain the ransom note being written in the Ramsey home, Team Ramsey commentators have argued that the intruder did not want to risk being caught with the ransom note, so if it went to court, only a burglary charge would be brought against the intruder. But Team Ramsey describes the intruder as irrational and psychotic. It is very hard to believe that the technicalities of how charges are filed would be on this irrational intruder's mind. Just think about it. For actual kidnappers, having the ransom note ready seems to have always outweighed any potential chances of getting caught beforehand. But once again, this case makes people abandon common sense. What seems more likely to be true? The psychotic and irrational intruder was concerned with the technicalities of what charges could potentially be filed against him. Or, Team Ramsey is just trying to make the intruder theory seem more plausible. Wow, this is a tough one.